What attracted me to seed was I just ended this really dark time in my life where I was in a really bad relationship, and I just didn't really know where I was going, and I was unemployed, and I didn't really know what my life was looking like, and I knew I had to look for work in September, but I wasn't too keen on it. And then my mom heard the radio ad on Praise 106.5, and she was like, hey, there's this weird program in Hope that maybe you should look into. And I was like, cool, sure. And I looked into it, and I was like, it's 8 months, and I get to live at a camp and do outdoor things, and that's better than working. And so we kind of went through the application process, and everything kind of fell into place. So I felt like I couldn't argue with reason or with God in my life, and so I came out to seed. My highlight of the seed program, I've done a lot of super awesome things, but I think my highlight would be that I've made a lot of lasting healthy friendships and relationships with either people in the seed community or seed and Squeah community, and just random Hope people that come up to Squeah for different things. And so I've made a lot of really good friends that way that I know that I'll have for a long time. And so I think that's my biggest highlight from the seed program. The community at Squeah is really awesome. It's kind of weird because the seed people cycle through, so every year they get to know a different amount of people, but within after the brief adjustment period where they sort of get to know you and figure out where you're coming from and what you are, then they just start loving you, and you can feel it. You can just feel every time they see you, and every time you run into them, if you're just going to the office to buy a stamp, or you're having meals with them, they genuinely care about you, and they're thinking of you, and they've just invested so much love and care. And just to have a bunch of basic strangers love you that much is pretty amazing. So I'd say that the Squeah community, they really invest their time and love and energy into seed, and it's one of the coolest things, I'd say. My favorite place at camp isn't actually at camp. It's on Squeah property, but you have to cross the highway and then commit a federal offense and go across the railroad tracks, and then go down this trail, and then go along this other trail, and then you end up at this, it looks like a squatter camp, but it's a sweat lodge thing that some First Nations people have set up. So they've got their sweat lodge and tarps and stuff, and then across from that is this pebbly, sandy beach and the Fraser River. And then on the other side of the river, there's the train that goes back into Hope. So if you go there at night, you can see the train light illuminating the sky, and then you hear the train go by, and it's really cool. And then if you go there during the day, especially on a sunny day, then it's your own little private little piece of weird beachy Fraser, and it's just so pretty. And then if you walk further along, you get to the Squeah beach, which is actual sandbar, which is a little bit nicer. But I like the model rocky bits where you feel you're conquering something. What challenged me the most about seed is probably the needle. So what the needle is, it's you go up the Coquihalla highway, and then there's this mountain, and then you hike up this steep terrain for a while, and then you get to this mountain plateau thing, and then there's a saddle, and one half is flat iron, which is decently flat to where we camped, and then there's this cliff thing you can climb up to see the sunset, and it was really pretty. And then on the way back we hit up the needle, which Jeff thought would take a short amount of time, but he didn't factor in our agility, I guess, or just our general desire to climb up this mountain. And so you climb up, and then pretty soon after you start, there's just endless boulders, and you just keep climbing. So you don't hike anymore, you just boulder. So you boulder up to its level, and then you walk through this weird mountain forest thing, and then you just keep bouldering. And I was pretty fine until there was this one part where you could climb on this slight incline, and then if you slipped, you'd fall off the side of the mountain and die. And I slipped, and luckily Dustin was there, and he pulled me up and saved the day. But after that, I was not at all keen to continue climbing. And I told Jeff very firmly that he should figure out how we were going to get back down, because going up was terrifying enough. But we continued climbing somehow. We had to like use this weird tether system to get through this like sandwich pancakey rock thing, and like a lot of like adrenaline and fear, but we conquered it. We made it to the summit, and then I had a very fast lunch at the top of the summit because all I wanted to do was get back down. And then on the way back down, it was like also terrifying because you knew what was coming. You also knew like the hardships that you were facing, so it wasn't like every new thing, but you also had like a burning desire to get down as soon as possible. So it kind of made it like less terrifying, but I have no desire to ever climb that mountain again. But it was a great experience to like push your boundaries. Also, one of my like most memorable stories about Seed was on the summit of the Needle. We found this geocache in a rock, and we opened it up, and there was like a piece of paper where you could like, and a pencil where you could write your name and stuff on, and then there was like half of a pecan nut in there as well. And so we split it up into tiny pieces, and all of us ate a piece of this like super old pecan, and it tasted awful. Like it was like stale and soggy and super gross, but we like, that was like our, I don't know, our gain from the geocache. And then we put this like pill that we found in a first aid kit, some like unmarked pill, as like our return. So hopefully someone doesn't go up there and eat this random pill that we don't know what it is. But that's in the geocache on the top of the Needle. That was one of my greatest memories in Seed. God has ministered to me during Seed in a lot of ways, but I feel like majorly he's given me like a safe place to come to where I can heal and like gain self-confidence and strengthen myself, and like also find peace. He's also like super drilled into my head and like really taught me that I can't control every aspect of my life like I like to do. So there's so many things that you do like in the Seed program where you like physically cannot control your own safety. Like you have to trust a device, or like someone else belaying you, or like the rocks that you're climbing on, or like the direction of Jeff, or just like the other people in the program to support you. And you have to let go of that control and like trust that you're going to be fine. And that's like, that was really hard for me. And so I feel like through the many like difficult things of Seed, that's like really where God has ministered to me, kind of just like showed me that I am able to let go of control and like put my trust in others. I think that someone should come to Seed if it's like, it's such an organic program, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's really great if you are in transition and you like don't really know where your next chapter, like what it holds or what it looks like, and you just need like space to like grow in yourself and like kind of like learn stuff about yourself that you never really expected, and just to like kind of like stretch and figure out where you're going next. I think it's also really great, like you have to be ready to like step outside of your box and like push your boundaries, because it's not a program that lets you remain comfortable in the place where you've arrived in. And there's a lot of things, like even if you're like an avid camper and you're like an avid outdoors person, there's still going to be like an out trip or like a day trip or any sort of event that we do that like really like pushes you beyond what you thought you were capable of, and there's a lot of growth. So you have to be like ready to grow, I guess. But I think Seed's a really great program, and it kind of like through the way it's built, it encourages you to like have organic growth and to like have like personal growth as well, and to like really like become a different person, like probably someone you never really expected yourself to be, but like to become greater because of it. It really like guides you down like God's path, and like in a way that you probably wouldn't experience in your own community.